Welcome to episode 3 of Too Many Cooks with me, your host, Stephen Soupy Campbell. This is the show where we talk shit and make shit. This episode we are making a veggie lasagna. And the guest that we have on is the great and wonderfully funny Mr. Jordan Robinson.
Hi.
Thanks for coming out, Jordan.
Yeah,
really
I'm buzzing to be here. Yeah.
Do you cook at the house?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Nothing too fancy.
Nothing too mad, but I think though, I'm a great proponent for cooking is just heating shit up.
Yeah.
See if it's warm, it's fine.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I'm very much in the same camp as that.
yeah, 100%. Tell me this, veggie lasagna. Why? So the guest chooses the dish. Why did you personally choose a veggie lasagna?
Well, it's because when you asked me what I wanted to cook and you didn't accept my first answer of meth, I had to think on my feet and decided to go with veggie lasagna as an alternative because some family ties to lasagna, as I think that's if my family was to have a dish, it would be lasagna.
Yeah.
And veggie lasagna because my partner is a vegetarian and I need to learn how to cook food for her. So I'm killing two birds with the one stone.
Unbelievable.
You know? I'm repping the family and I'm getting brownie points. So
unbelievable, man. Well, unbelievable. Well, that's what we're going to do. So I've pre-prepped some stuff here. I've pre-prepped some mirepoix, which is basically onion, carrot and celery. I've also prepped some, the meat substitute I suppose for this here is cauliflower, texture wise, and then eggplant for like volume sort of wise. Not eggplant, aubergine. Oh, where am I from? Probably where you're originally from.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna ask you to chop some garlic.
Yes,
if you'd
can
like to
do.
That.
Yes.
What I find interesting about mirepoix and the garlic. Mirepoix is a French term for obviously these three core ingredients, like base ingredients. And then when you add garlic, it becomes a sofrito, which is Italian. So there you go.
Look at that.
You know what I mean? That was a wee bit of Googling I've done right for this episode.
Yeah, you've been on Duolingo a little bit, haven't you?
Yeah. But so if you want to chop with that garlic,
sure.
And while you do that, I'm actually going to start sweating down some of this mirepoix.
Nice.
And then we can, chat some shit and have some fun.
Sound good?
So what is your favourite thing to cook at home?
I really like grilled cheese. Simply because it's so handy, it's so easy. You could, because you know yourself when you come in from doing a gig and it's 2:30, 3:30 in the morning and you haven't had dinner yet.
Yeah.
You don't want to have to resort to eating a pot noodle. And you don't necessarily want to be spending money on takeouts every single night.
No,
so
which when I first started doing stand up, I was like, I'll a lot of people say you eat a lot of shit, but you do. I do anyway.
Oh yeah.
But see, amount of times I leave and it's like 10:30 in Belfast on a Tuesday night. You're like, I'm starving. What's open? 1,000 kebab shops.
Yeah, that's all you're getting. Like
nothing else.
Yeah, there's no salad stores open at 3:00 in the morning. Like
no. But yeah, so grilled cheese is a great shout though. What kind of cheeses do you use?
Love it, mozzarella.
Yeah,
that's my go-to.
You need that stretch, don't you?
Yeah, the pull, man. Nothing better.
Yeah,
that's how you know you've done a good job.
Yeah, 100%. Grilled cheese. Would you ever add any sort of
wee slice of ham, make it into a wee Monte Cristo? Yeah. That's more my speed. Like
100%. Wee bit of ham.
Although, what did I try a couple of weeks ago? We had spam left over. A couple of wee slices of spam.
I've actually never had spam.
You see, it gets a bad rap.
No,
I'm a fan, man.
Now these days, 'cause I think I used to get a bad rap because my dad used to say to me when I was younger, like, what's for tea? But like spam sandwiches, and I'd be like, because it's in a tin. But now it's kind of like it's a delicacy in Asian countries.
Yeah,
isn't it? Like,
heavily used, like.
But I actually want to try it, but it's so expensive now.
It is.
Which is ironic.
It's spenny, man.
Because it's ironic because it used to be the cheapest thing. That's what it was a struggle meal. Like, and now it's it's just people think they're influencers. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So yes, I'm gonna add this mirepoix into the thing. Are you turning over there, is that alright? So yeah, what I'm doing here with these onions, etc. That's actually quite a lot for that pot. Oh well. I'm sweating them down. It's basically releasing a lot of the moisture out of them. I'm also going to salt them as well, which will help draw the moisture out. And it basically just means that I'm not browning them to caramelize them to deepen the flavour. I'm actually only sweating them to get them translucent to actually sweeten it up a wee bit. A lot of people put sugar in tomato sauces, which Italians would say it's sacrilege. But if you sweeten up your or if you just sweat your maypole down or your onions and garlic down, actually the natural sugars kind of come out with the salt and water in it anyway, so you don't even need to add sugar. But there's just a wee factoid for you, and I very well could be talking shy about that, but that's kind of the common theme. But I'm going to sweat this down. We're going to make a tomato sauce here, and then we're also going to make a bechamel as well. And we can, sorry, 1 second. We can then construct it and we'll fire it in the oven, etc., etc. So, tell the people, if anyone doesn't know you, what you do yourself. I know you're actually a student at the minute.
Yes, back to college, man.
What's that?
Back to college.
You're also a stand-up comedian.
World famous stand-up comedian.
World famous. Well, here.
Put some respect on my name.
Yeah. Have you? Funny enough, where have you gigged before? Where?
All over the shop, man. I started doing stand-up in Belfast, and like most people from Belfast, I started at the Pavilion. Paid my dues there.
Yeah.
It's the comedy equivalent of a cold night in Stoke. If you can do it in the pub, you can do it anywhere.
Yeah.
So I started there, and then I went over to Chicago.
Right. Okay.
Chicago, Illinois.
What year was this again? Sorry, you said
2018.
Yep.
And I went over because originally, before I started doing stand-up, I did improv comedy. So whose line is it anyway type stuff.
I love whose line.
So good, man.
So good.
So good. And
it's such a difficult thing to do. So difficult.
Yeah.
To do it well, obviously.
Yeah, to do it well. But here, man, the best even have off nights. So I went to Chicago to go to school. Right. This place called Improv Olympic. Which is like a bit of a training school for
virgins. Sorry.
There's a lot of crossover between virgins and improv comedy, but went there, and that's kind of where I did a lot of my first gigs.
Yeah.
In open mics around Chicago, and I don't know if it was just because I had the kind of Irish accent.
Yeah.
But I got on quite well in the open mic scene. I was getting gigs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Came back to Belfast, and every gig I did for about a month after, I ate shit and died.
Yeah.
Just because it didn't matter what I was saying in Chicago, because I had that kind of Irish accent. That was a bit of a novelty.
Yeah.
And when I came back to Belfast, they were like, yeah, that shit's not flying here. So
yeah.
I had to actually write jokes, which was a bit annoying.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, since then, I've gigged all around the shop, and I've just been on tour with Shane Todd at the minute.
I was going to say, that's
down south.
Fucking great. Yeah, so the tour is basically all the south, really, isn't it?
A lot of counties down south, yeah. A lot I've never been to before. I've never been to Portlaoise. And I will be back. Nice wee spot.
All right,
Cork as well. Clonakilty, Mayo, Wicklow.
Cork, you say?
Cork, yeah.
Cork, I've never been to Cork.
Man, Cork's the spot. It is. It's been one of those tours where if someone asks you what your favourite gig was, or where your favourite place you went was, it's a multiple answer question.
Okay.
You can't just pick one because they've all been so good. Like Clonakilty in the Barras was fantastic. Last night in Portlaoise was great. Kilkenny was great. I got in a lot of shit though, because I pronounced Drogheda wrong.
Did you say Drogheda?
So I've been told it's a very Protestant way to pronounce the word, but yes, I think I pronounced the G or the H. I'm not sure which one it was, but one of them.
I am gonna get a different pot for this. I apologise. But yes, Jordan, I apologise. What were you saying?
I completely
you got in
forget.
trouble, Drogheda.
Drogheda, yes. So apparently I was pronouncing the name wrong, and I don't want to say that people of Drogheda are territorial, but when you get the name of their county wrong, they do not like it.
Yeah, I imagine so. And it's interesting because I'm friends with a few Protestant people, surprise, surprise. And, we're moving on, but...
Exactly.
But there's a place around local enough to here, it's called Crenchigo, right? Mm-hmm. And I was chatting to one day, he was like, I was driving past Cornshigo. I was like, what the fuck is a Cornshigo, bro? And I was like, spell it. And I was like, that's Crenchigo, you fucking dickhead. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like it's all in jest, but
yeah.
Yeah, fucking the people that draw it, did they give you shit while you were on stage, or?
So no, they were polite enough not to say anything while I was on stage. But after I got off stage, I got maybe 5 to 6 messages about my pronunciation, and I felt like I was back in primary school. It was a strange one, but it was a great gig anyway. So they're forgiven, if anything.
And what's it like, sort of translating the humour to down south or whatever? What's the what I mean? How do you manage that? I suppose obviously they're all come to see Shane and yourself anyway.
Yeah.
So, they already get it.
Well, like I kind of gig down south quite a lot, so I kind of know with those kind of shows, like in the towns that like aren't major cities, kind of like Dublin and stuff like that. You know that the chances are the majority of the people are going to be Irish. Yeah. But when you're doing it in Dublin, say, a lot of tourists and stuff like that, a lot of American, Canadian, Germans and stuff, are in the crowd. So they're not always going to go for the local references and stuff like that. So if I was doing like a club show in Dublin, I'd definitely change it up a little bit. Okay. But then when I'm doing like a tour show, I'm just, make it up as much as possible. Like.
Yeah, 100%, of course, yeah, of course. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to take out just some of this here, because I'm just conscious that I don't want to over fill this pot and then not cook the veg the whole way through. Now, the reason why I've done so much prep is just because with a lasagna, you obviously this is a very important part of the lasagna. It's the fucking filling itself, But yeah, I think we'll be fine. But so tell me this: what are you studying?
So I am studying history and tour guiding in. There's like an access course that allows you to do. It's about 3 years through the Belfast Met and the University of Ulster.
Man, I would. So are you looking to be a tour guide? Is
that's the deal. That's the
I would.
That's the end goal.
Love to be a tour guide.
Man, I'm very excited about getting into it. Like
it's stand up like.
It essentially is, man, and you're kind of a lot of the stuff I say in stand up I probably won't if I do on a tour.
yeah,
I definitely.
I imagine.
I
Some
definitely
of them one-liners, especially. Yeah, they're not. Yeah.
It definitely won't be happening there, but I'm excited, like, because I have a keen interest in history, and it's one of those jobs where you can kind of take it and go anywhere. Yeah. Just as long as you know the basics, all you need to do is learn the history of the place that you're in, and you'd be able to do the job there. So that's one of the things that attracted to me, like kind of the most. Yeah. So I'm just gonna. It'll be the next couple of years. I'll be doing the course, and then. It sounds weird, but then I'm a fully qualified tour guide.
yeah, the big Belfast red buses. So I'm going to throw this garlic in whenever you're ready. You good to go?
Yeah, just...
See, the thing is, right, so my knife skills, right, and that's what I was saying to Jordan before this episode started, was I like to think I'm a competent enough cook, right, but see, trying to cook and talk at the same time, disaster. Which here, I don't know why the fuck I'm having a cooking show, if that's the point, right? But here, we're learning, you know what I mean? But I'm either... it's just, and I'm very conscious of, like, are people going to be like, look, to steal that guy's knife skills? Which, my knife skills are not perfect, but what it is, that's kind of the whole point of cooking. Like, you learn as you're doing it, and see, as long as it's not, like, I kind of like the inconsistencies of stuff. Like, see, like these onions, like, they're not, like, perfectly... equally shaped, and I don't give a fuck, bro. It's gonna be nice. You know what I mean? It's gonna be nice.
I feel like you're only saying that because you've seen how badly I've chopped this garlic.
No, actually, genuinely, like literally, it's well documented my lack of fucking skill, But I'm happy enough with that garlic if you are, because I kind of like a wee bite to the garlic.
Yeah, same here.
So I'll get that and I'll scrape her on in. So I've separated I'm gonna. Put the garlic into the oil. We're gonna kind of toast that, and it'll intensify the flavour. You add the garlic in a wee bit after your mirepoix, because garlic is easier burned than burnt garlic flavour. You're not really going for that. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna wait till that simmers down a wee bit, and then we're gonna add the tomato passata. And then we're gonna add some thyme. Maybe we'll finish with basil, I think. And then we can get started on the bechamel whenever that's sort of simmering away.
Lovely.
But what period of history is your favourite?
Oh, good question. I think being from the north, a lot of the history tours and stuff like that are kind of dominated by the Troubles and stuff like that, and that's kind of something that doesn't interest me as much as other things. Yeah. So probably I would like to say like turn of the century, maybe World War One, World War Two kind of thing, because Belfast has so much history behind it. Insane amounts, and
it's overshadowed too. Like,
and the amount of inventions that have come from Belfast, I think it puts it in very good stead to be one of the centres of industry in the whole entire world.
Okay.
Like the defibrillator, number one.
Is that invented in Belfast?
Some guy from Belfast. Don't ask me any more details because I don't know them.
Yeah.
But
bro, you're still studying. It's fine.
Air conditioning. The Royal Victoria Hospital was
the coldest place in the world. They were like, I know this room needs to be colder. Fucking hell. No, that was someone taking the piss. That was someone going, no, be a laugh, please. This room is freezing.
Yeah, the Royal Victoria Hospital was the first building to have air conditioning.
That's mad.
Look at that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so those wee things. I love finding like pointless facts that might get you a point on a pub quiz team.
100%.
Like I love knowing facts like that.
You know the factoids.
Yes,
you know what I mean.
Ones,
like,
yeah.
I love. I had no defibrillator and air conditioning here.
Look at that.
Unbelievable. And then of course the Titanic.
Oh well.
I love the phrase, but it's pure like pub joke. It's like it's alright on the left here. It's fucking unreal. Yeah, great. But yeah, that's interesting. Right, fair enough. Because I know, you know, when I think of history, I like to go back as far as possible in terms of like obviously the classic fucking ancient Egypt shit. You know what I mean? Which I think is
the classics.
It's the classics. Like, it's a deep cut of history. Like, speaking of deep cuts, I'm gonna cut this. But scissors. Sorry. So I usually go to that sort of direction, but I think what makes it so interesting for me, like those eras, is because there's no way to be sure.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's
professional guessing. That's what we're doing.
Literally what it is. I'm gonna add this passata in. Usually when people are making, so this is basically like a ragu bolognese, right? And obviously replacing the beef with, you know, vegetable. If I usually make my own sort of tomato sauce to add in at this stage instead of passata, but that's so many extra steps. But I'm going to kind of double up and almost make the tomato sauce within this ragu. I know that probably sounds weird, but basically instead of me adding this tomato passata, I have added my own sort of tomato sauce. It's kind of like a pizza sauce kind of mix kind of deal. But I'm going to add some of the things I've added into that tomato sauce now and kind of try and cook it all together. So I'm going to mix this up. We're going to add a couple of sprigs of thyme in here as well. Just for like a bit more of a savoury flavour. I was actually going to add some bay leaves in, and I decided against it. Yeah, tour guide. What's the dream tour guide job kind of thing? You know what I mean? Like, what's the
good question?
Is it Belfast bus, or is it is there certain? Do you want like an Ulster Museum, or you know what I mean? Like, what's the
I don't know. I grew up in boarding school. So from the age of 11 to 16, I was in boarding school in Methody, which is just across the road from the Ulster Museum, and it was the first thing I saw every morning when I woke up from the window. Yeah. So there is a wee romantic kind of idea in my head.
Nostalgia.
I would like to go back there, but I don't know, man. There's certain places like I went to San Francisco once, and I went to Alcatraz.
Right.
Like the old penitentiary. And yeah, it has to be up there with one of my favourite.
Sorry, so what was the crack with Alcatraz? Like, what's...
It was one of the coolest kind of tourist locations I've ever been to.
Okay.
But what I will say is, when I went there, I don't know if there was a problem with the pipes or anything like that. The place stank of piss. Yeah,
well, here, if I'm applying the same rule that I would apply to bars... There's a cracking pint of Guinness in Alcatraz. A cracking pint of Guinness in Alcatraz. That's the indicator. See, when you walk in the bar and you go, smell this, you're like, this is gonna be unreal. You know? But yeah, Alcatraz. But that's kind of the nature. Like it's probably one of the world's worst prisons, or like the most notorious prisons. Like,
exactly.
You know, so it kind of. They sold it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's there, and
you think like when you like as part of like the worker's job, they're like, right, you go brush all the floors, and then you go piss in the corner there just to make sure it's all good, you know.
It's Yeah, and I would like to work in a filming location that Sean Connery and Nick Cage have been on the same time. That's all I want in life.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm gonna leave this ajar so I can evaporate. That's the word. Evacuate.
I think both are technically correct.
Yeah, both are. We're gonna do a bechamel here now, right? Now this requires some. I'm gonna fuck it up. Basically, is what I'm trying to say to you. So bechamel, you need to make a roux, which is butter or any kind of fat, and then flour, and then it kind of turns into like a sandy kind of texture. And not the girl from SpongeBob. I mean, the stuff you find in the beach. And imagine this, and there was a squirrel. You're like, what the fuck, bro? A squirrel with a fucking astronaut helmet on. But and then you add milk slowly to it, milk or heavy cream, whatever. And then a wee bit of black pepper, a wee bit of salt, and a wee bit of nutmeg. Sort of brings a bit of an earthy sort of flavour to it. So I'm gonna do that now, and. Sorry, you were saying about Alcatraz. So here, tell me. Yes. So in terms of traveling, you mentioned Alcatraz, etc., etc. You're originally from Canada.
So no.
Yeah. Cut that. Where are you from originally?
Aucknagilbert. No. So my dad's Canadian. So a half. I don't know.
What's the phrase where we say we're half a Jaffa?
I'm going to go half a Canuck. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's not, but it could be a Canadian slur. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
There's a ice hockey team named after them, so I'll take that.
But then again, is it the Indiana Redskins or something that were a thing?
Washington,
Indiana,
yeah.
same thing.
And then
this is actually brown butter. Oopsie. But yeah, so what whereabouts in Canada, or what's your history
Victoria, British Columbia, so West Coast, extreme West Coast, and it was great. We've been when we were in boarding school, my parents were over in Canada, and during the summer holidays we would go over there. We'd fly to Toronto and meet them there, and then we'd drive to Vancouver. So it's like from one side of the country to the other. So great memories doing that.
I have family members, close family members of mine who spent a lot of time in Canada. They lived in Calgary.
Oh yeah.
And I've always heard I've always been interested in Canada, but fucking freezing. Obviously,
cold.
That's kind of the whole fucking. It's kind of the whole thing. What's your sort of favourite memory? Because you're a huge fan of ice hockey.
Oh, massive, man, massive. It's probably games in 2011, Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. My dad took me to go see Vancouver against Boston.
Yeah.
And it resulted in downtown Vancouver getting looted, set on fire. Everything. It was like being in Belfast without being in Belfast in terms of riots.
Yeah.
Like I felt like I was a judge on Strictly, like watching the riots. I'm just holding up a placard that says 10.
Yeah. But what do you call your boy that everyone hates? Craig Rebel Woman. And you're like 5, but some smick is like 5, that's fucking shit. Didn't even burn out a bus or nothing. Everyone's booing and shit. Come on, Craig. They've got a looter with one leg. Anyway, they always have the sob story. The sob story is like a looter with one leg. Come on, he couldn't run that fast, bro. And Craig Rebel doesn't give a fuck. He's like, no man, that was shit, man. But that's hilarious.
Yeah, so that's probably the most traumatic and my favourite sporting, going to a sporting event in my life.
Yeah. Which is interesting. When I think about sporting riots, you think obviously football or soccer or whatever. Obviously the English are fucking insane.
Yeah, they're notorious for it.
They're notorious for it. I wouldn't actually have put. Well, actually, no. That's a lie. I'm actually just thinking about my own logic here. Of course, ice hockey people love beating the fuck out of each other. That's the whole. Man, what's that about? Can you tell me the rules? Can I just go? Because I seen a clip the other day, and it was the start of it must have been the second half or a quarter, or whatever the fuck, and the whole team just took their gloves off.
We line brawl. So technically, it is illegal in the game of ice hockey to fight. It's. Back when I first started watching it was a lot more prevalent, but nowadays it's a little bit more rare, especially to see those line brawls. But the odd fight still happens. You get a 5-minute penalty and then you're back on the ice. So you get a timeout for 5 minutes and then you have to go play together in the playground.
Unreal. That's class. Have you ever played ice hockey?
Yes, I used to play when I was younger. My brother still plays. for the team in Belfast, and it's one of those things that's just kind of stuck with us. Just because obviously my dad's heritage and stuff like that. There was two sports we were allowed to play growing up, and that was rugby and ice hockey. And I always found myself a little bit better at rugby than being a portly gentleman. I was always
rotund.
The husky gentleman. I always found myself a little bit better in studs rather than skates. So I kind of stuck with that. But Sam, my brother, he's pretty good at both. You know, he's definitely kept the like. It's weird because if you saw me and my dad, you would know we're essentially twins. Yeah. Like, but my brother is, you know, he's 6 foot, he's very athletic, and I guarantee my mum cheated on my dad, and he's the milkman's because he looks nothing like anybody else in the family.
Yeah. That's hilarious. So, I've tried to go ice skating a couple of times. I may have absolutely fucked this, by the way, but I've tried to go ice skating a couple of times, and disastrous. Like I you know, with a man of similar stature to yourself, it just doesn't suit. It's just not.
Yeah, no, we're not made for the ice.
We're not, bro. We're not.
No. I mean, it's one of those things when you're brought up from a young age doing it. It's kind of you almost get it like second nature. Yeah. Like riding a bike. Like I haven't skated in years, but if I was to go to Dundonald right now.
Is that okay then? Yeah, you want to check that? Yeah, sure. It's okay. It's not blown over. What were you saying, sorry?
If I was to go to Dundonald right now, I could probably give it a good enough go.
Yeah. It was always just the fear of going over my ankle that scared me. You know,
most people, the big fear is losing a finger if someone skates over it. Like.
That's true. Yeah. Which is
is fair.
That's very fair. Yeah, I might attempt to do this rule again or this bechamel again. You know that just because I'd rather do it right than. You know, right. We're back. Yeah, I'm just gonna redo this roux because I basically fucked the last one. I think I didn't cook the butter and flour in for long enough. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna try it again. And again, beauty of cooking. That's you can always try again. So butter in pan. I'm gonna let the flour sort of cook in the butter and lose the sort of raw flavour for a bit longer. I think that's what the issue was, and then add the milk more slowly than I did previously. So Jordan, tell me this, right? Mm-hmm. Stand up, right?
Yes.
That's obviously how we know each other, right?
Yes.
So the first time I actually ever seen you stand up, I'll tell you a very quick sort of background. Mm-hmm. First time I seen you do stand up was in McCooey's in Uri.
Yes.
And I remember you were trying new stuff and you had your wee notebook with you. Mm-hmm. And you said something to the effect of blah blah blah, love coming to Uri, etc. etc. But I know you don't really like dirty stuff, mm-hmm. So I'm quite weary of that. And then continued to say the most disgusting thing I've ever heard in my life.
That's the go-to, man.
And it was it was fucking unbelievable. But like the crowd obviously loved it too. Mm. And then my first experience with like gigging with you or whatever was in Madden's. I think we were both on Madden's, and I mentioned a bit. I actually don't do the bit anymore. Probably should. You've got a bit about ET, so the essential tremor.
Essential tremor. And
I have a bit about Tourette's. And I compare myself to
Muhammad Ali.
It's
a great bit.
And but here it's unfortunate that a Muhammad Ali reference is kind of niche, which is weird because people don't know that he had Parkinson's.
Yeah.
And then I add an extra bit on where I'm like Muhammad Ali. Sorry, I'm shaking like Muhammad Ali at the US Army Open Day.
Yeah, because fantastic.
Yeah, because that's for the people who know
So that bit is like the thinking man's version of my bit, because it's to be honest, I like that bit a little bit better than I like mine.
Not really. I love that.
But with Michael J. Fox, I think he's the poster kid for shaking. For shaking.
Yeah. 100%. See, I actually tell a lie. It wasn't even the Tourette's I was talking about. It was being nervous to do a gig. Yeah. That's what it was. Yeah. I was like, I'm nervous. Because I'm sitting down there. The whole bit was, I recently started stand up. It's weird. I've been a fan for years. And it's weird waiting down, sitting down there waiting for my name to be called.
Yeah.
I'm like Muhammad Ali at the US Army Open Day. But I heard people going to me be like, I don't get the US Army Open Day bit, and I'm like, he was conscripted.
Read a book, guys. Read a book.
You know, and then I'm like, it's the worst feeling in the world is trying to explain a bit to someone.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Yeah. Jokes are normally better when you don't have to explain them. Like.
Yeah, 100%. But
Yeah.
I kind of revel in explaining a joke sometimes. Like sometimes on stage, if it doesn't land, I go, because of the thing, and then you kind of,
I do the exact same. There's bits where the add-on for the joke is the explanation, like the little tag at the end of the joke.
Yeah, 100%.
That's almost like the main punchline.
Yeah.
Is explaining the joke, which I kind of like doing.
Yeah, 100%. I just love doing stand-up. Like, see just that fucking fear. Like, see just that. Are we okay there? Yeah, just
Yeah,
keep
I
it in
think
that,
so.
bro. That's the child over there for you. But like, do you remember like one of the first times down in your hole?
Oh yeah, a lot in Chicago.
Right.
And then the worst gig I probably have ever had was there was a dry January event we were doing, and I don't want to besmirch the good name of the people of Armagh.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason that night they were just not up for the crack.
Yeah.
And
It just happens, man. It just happens.
it happens, and it was an all-star lineup of the guys of my generation. William Thompson, Robbie McShane, McCartney, McKegney, all doing I can't remember what venue it was in Armagh, but yeah, the sooner we got out of there, the better. Like,
Yeah.
It was a tough night at the office.
I really hope this doesn't happen again, you know that, because I just really hope. I think I added too much milk in last time or something. I don't know, man. We're gonna do it. And tell me this, so when was that though? Like, that was 2018, 2019?
Earlier days, yeah. It was just after I got back from Chicago.
Yeah.
And it was pre-pandemic. So, before COVID, after COVID kind of thing.
Yes.
So-
Which is mad because it's BC, like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's it.
But yeah, man. So funny enough, the night that I actually seen you in McCooey's was the night I wanted to do stand up for years, but that was the night that I actually decided that I was going to do it. If that makes sense, because I seen Sean McAlevey.
Oh, that
gigging.
guy, yeah.
That guy, and
Mary's favourite son.
yeah. And I seen him do it, and I know him for years. Like, and I remember sitting in the crowd thinking, like, "Fuck, if he can do it, I can do it." But not in a disrespectful way, just in a
Yeah.
oh, I know that guy, and
Yeah.
he can do it. He's doing it. So
Yeah.
why can't I? Kind of thing, you know.
Exactly, yeah. Will I just keep this on the boil then, or?
Yeah, just keep it on the boil, bro. You can turn it down a wee bit if you want.
Yeah. Well, whatever you think's best. I just don't want to.
Yeah, no, I think it's fine. It's sort of similar weather, as long as it's not sort of burning at the bottom. We're all good.
Just keep it a jar then.
Yeah, keep it a jar.
Yeah, can do.
Jordan, you want to come over and gradually pour a tiny bit of milk in this?
Yep, sure. 2 seconds.
We're getting there now.
Just add a little bit.
Yeah, just a wee bit. That's you. That's enough.
Oh, shit, sorry,
you're all
my
good,
bad.
man. You're all good. You're all good. Yeah, I think we're coming together now. I think that's. But yeah, sorry. So I was saying there. Basically, the day I decided to. That was the night I decided, right, I'm going to do this. Not that I just want to do this, I am going to.
Yeah.
Know?
Not taking no for an answer.
Basically. Now, I actually didn't end up doing my first gig till probably a long time after that.
Yeah.
But I remember I always held that night in stead, or in good stead, that was, that's the night.
Yeah.
But my first time doing stand-up, I was coming out of work, and I work in an office in Uri, and wanted to do it. And I had messaged Sean McAlevey, who runs, Madden's Belfast Comedy Club. I'd messaged him to be like, how do I do this, or what, And he was basically just like, sign up on the night kind of thing. And
was your first gig Madden's?
yeah, first
Oh.
gig was Madden's. Yeah. So, and I just drove up. I was coming to Derrybeg roundabout in the town, and it was just a Jesus take the wheel moment, like it just happened. And I kind of was like, right, let's go. And then I've been writing stuff down for years, so I was kind of like, right, on the way up the road, I just compiled some sort of common theme shit, you know, just like fat joke, you know, OCD, another fat joke, and then it just worked. Like it just, you know, I was just mad, and then next thing you know, I was like, right, when am I doing it again? And then I've just been doing it since.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's how it starts, and then you can't stop, and then
and then you do like you done the town hall.
Town hall in Uri, yeah, I've done it a couple of times there.
Great.
Gigs in Uri, I think, are just such a special thing. Whether it be McCooey's or I've done the bank a couple of times, I've done the town hall. I just adore gigging in Uri, man. I love the place.
They are so up for it.
Yeah,
like
I feel like Chip. I feel like it might be my favorite place to gig in the north.
You think so?
I think so, yeah.
That's amazing, actually. You know that because that's like because Newry gets a rep for you know, miserable cunts, like, which is true.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, two things can be right at the same time.
100%. What I'm gonna do to this bechamel, just in order to thicken it up a wee bit more, just because of the ratios of, you know, flour and stuff I used, and also because I'm low-key an idiot and I had to take like 5 attempts to do it. To thicken it up a wee bit, I'm gonna add a wee bit of cheese in, which essentially turns into like a bit of a Mornay sauce. But we're gonna be adding cheese to the thing anyway. You know. What I mean? So to thicken this up, I've got a wee bit of mozzarella. Throw it in there, and then I'm gonna season it with a wee bit of black pepper. And a wee bit of nutmeg to sort of get some earthy tones in it, and a wee bit of sort of umami type of shit. And then once we have this bechamel, we can basically start fucking layering up. Lasagna is as good as fucking done. So yeah, tell me, like the moment that you were like, fuck, I could pursue stand up as a, you know, potential career or a potential kind of more than just a hobby type of thing, you know?
I think it might have been my first big laugh.
Oh, right, okay, that's an interesting answer, because usually people will be like, oh, when I got booked for this gig, or when I, you know, first big laugh, and it feels good.
It's a joke, man. I can't explain it. How do I knock the heat off on this?
Just press the 7, and then turn it down by whatever. Yeah, there you go. We'll just have it set.
Yeah, sit on 4.
For a back now. Yeah, so the first big laugh, that's great.
First big laugh, and look, I'm not going to say I got my first big laugh and I was like, I'm going to pay the bills by doing this. I just knew it was something that I wanted to stick at, and I never really stuck at anything before in my life, so stand-up's kind of that first thing where I was like, yeah, let's see where this goes kind of thing. But then obviously when you get the bigger gigs and stuff like that, you go like, okay, there's something here. Yeah. You know, I'm getting okay at this. I'm going to plow forward and try and do it as much as possible, and then that's how you get better at the end of the day. Like
100%. Yep, 100%.
You said you worked in kitchens before, Soupy, yeah?
Yeah, I worked in kitchens before. Now I worked in like takeaway type vibes, like, you know, but there was still quite a bit of prep and all involved, and you know, the food was fresh. It wasn't all frozen shit, you know. It wasn't just reheating stuff. It was a pizza place, like, and then I worked in a burger place in the area as well, and then I worked in a couple of cafes and stuff as well. So that's what I'm saying. I've always kind of loved, you know, food, eating food, making food, all that shit. And then kind of when I started working with it, I was like, oh fuck, this is actually great. And then that's kind of some of the inspiration for the show itself is the conversations and the people you meet while working in the kitchens, because there's such a ragtag group of misfits that work in kitchens. Like, you have got, you know, addicts, you've got, you know, you've got people who, you know, like from all walks of life. You get like, you meet a lot of people from different countries and stuff as well. Like, you know, it's unbelievable, and they bring their own sort of styles. Like, I worked with a guy from Kashmir in a pizza place that I was helping out in there, and Kashmir is like a territory. I'm not going to get political with it, but basically a territory, India-Pakistan situation, right? And he just made some food one day for all of us out of just love, like, you know. And I was like, this is probably the nicest fucking, you know, thing I've ever tasted. And I don't even know what the fuck it is, bro. But it was unbelievable, you know. That bechamel / Mornay sauce is as good as done. I'm just going to add some black pepper to finish it here, and then a wee bit of nutmeg. 1 second. A bit of salt, extra salt, and then a wee bit of black pepper.
We're looking good in the ragu too.
Yeah, I was going to say it looks well thickened up, like. Yes, now we are Dundalkin. And then, do you want to get that? And then I'm going to give you some of these.
Lasagna.
And we can get this.
Play Tetris.
Show on the road. Yeah. So, what else do I want to ask you? But I wanted to ask you about. We are Liam, yeah? I want to ask you about your. You do a bit about heart surgery. You went through heart surgery. It was over lockdown too, wasn't it?
Oh man, that was definitely an experience. Yes, 2020. I went in and had a tricuspid valve repair.
Yep.
Which is a pretty major surgery.
Yeah.
So I've had 6 heart surgeries in my life. 5 pulmonary stretches, which are, as heart surgeries go, quite minor.
Yeah.
And then I got the zipper done in 2020. That's the scar down the middle of the chest.
Yeah.
I got that done in 2020, and touch wood, since then everything's been a-okay.
Unreal. If you don't mind me asking, like, initially, what was the kind of cause for concern, or what was the, you know what I mean, like?
So this is quite funny. I was born with it. It was congenital heart disease. So I was about a week old when they discovered it.
Okay.
But nowadays it's something they can discover during the scans during the pregnancy.
Okay.
But no, they found out that I had it after I was born, and 2 weeks old I had my first surgery. And since then it's been every couple of years, just to widen one of the valves to help blood flow and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And in 2020 they were like, you don't need this heart surgery right now, but you will in the future. So it's better just to get it done when it's not like majorly important that you get it done right away.
Yeah.
So I was on the waiting list for about 2.5 years, and during the lockdown I was like, all right, so it's definitely not going to be for the next foreseeable future.
Yeah.
And then I got a message like about 2 weeks before, saying, right, you have to be in for this date. And 2 days before I was supposed to go in, they were like, we have an opening, can you come in right now? Oh, and I just had to go.
That's that's a big deal, because it's not your barber texting you being like, I can take an hour earlier. It's like, do you want us to cut you open?
Yeah.
You know, a few days in advance. That's fucking insane, bro.
And the worst thing about major surgeries like that is they run you through all the possibilities that could go wrong.
That's the worst thing.
I mean, man, pick a better time, for me to sign a waiver.
So I'm gonna lift this over.
No worries. Just put this in the sink.
Yeah, put it in the sink. Yeah. Here. That ragu looks really nice, doesn't it?
Not bad.
Doesn't it? It looks pretty good. And then we're gonna use one of these, and then we're gonna start layering this bit. Sorry, so continue what you were saying with so the basically were like, right, can you come in like now? Essentially?
Yeah, essentially, and it was right August 2020, so right in the middle of the whole lockdown thing. So it was a kind of thing where, thank God, the heart surgery went well, but with the recovery of everything, I didn't have any visitors or anything like that, because the protocol was still there that unless family weren't allowed to see it, but if it was a legal thing,
right,
somebody could come in.
Okay.
So I had one of my friends who lives near the hospital to bring me some stuff in, lied and said that he was my solicitor and that he had papers for me to sign.
Great.
And
the papers were fucking like Mars bar numbers.
So just to bring me a Suki, that's all that happened there.
Yeah, here, that's such a great post-operation refreshment.
They should really label it as that, because that's what it is at the end of the day.
My cousin had remember Bebo pages?
Yes.
Like, so remember you used to like have your own Bebo page, and then you could make like a Bebo page, like
Yeah.
a fan page or something.
Yeah.
He had a Bebo page called Suki for Pope, right? And here was so popular, man, it's so popular. So we're just going to lay this lasagna up now. We've got the ragu sauce, we've got the bechamel, we've also got obviously the tomato sheets. There are members of the crew that are celiac, so that's why we're using the gluten-free ones, by the way, if you didn't know that. But see, the gluten-free products now, a lot of them are quite like reasonable. They're quite nice. Like they used to be like pretty stinking enough.
Yeah.
And I've also used gluten-free flour as well. And then obviously to make the ragu vegetarian, and this is actually a vegetarian block of cheese that I think they use like calf rennet or something.
Yeah.
Parmesan. So, but if you just want a vegetable lasagna, you can still use non-vegetarian cheese. You know what I mean? It doesn't really matter. But yes. So, do you want to layer in some ragu, and then we can. Delightful. I'm actually going to do something here.
Two of the shakiest hands in the West here.
I know, yeah. Oop. That should be alright, actually, yeah, we're fine. And the thing is with a lasagna, like, people have different sort of parameters for what a lasagna is meant to be, or how it's meant to, is it meant to be more watery, is it meant to be more stiff? Like, you know what it is? It's spaghetti bolognese cake. You know what I mean?
Essentially,
that's what it is. There's a sprig of thyme I've got to take out. That's essentially what it is. You know what I mean? So I don't really care. See, as long as it's nice. See, presentation-wise, I don't really overly care. You know what I mean? And then with this bechamel, I'm gonna just kind of lightly drizzle on the top. Well, that's kind of a mornay sauce, as I say, with a wee bit of cheese in it there. But gonna lightly drizzle that up. Probably not the best spread there. As I said, it's not necessarily the non-clumpiest thing in the world, but it's fine. Imperfections are what make us, isn't that
exactly.
Right? So so then go in I'm gonna go in some wee
mozzarella,
and then I'm gonna grind a wee bit of the vegetarian cheese. Just a wee bit to taste. This is quite salty as well, so it'll actually sort of season the lasagna as we're sort of going here. And just a wee touch. We'll finish with more of this here because it'll crisp up nicely in the oven. So if you want to go
another couple layers,
more sheets, yep. So I want to chat to you about what it's like to tour.
Yes.
Is it so? You're touring machine at the minute.
At the minute, yeah.
Which is great. What what's it like? Because obviously, have you ever went on holidays with like a really good friend, or maybe someone who you're quite close to, or even people you don't really know, and then by the end of it, you're like, I fucking hate this guy. Now, I'm not saying that with you and Shane, but it just means you find like. You see different parts of people when you are touring with them. What do you both like on tour? Are you both very, independent, comfortable? You know what I mean? Like, what's the kind of vibes there? Like,
I feel like we complement each other quite well because we have similar music tastes. And 95% of comedian, I'd say, is traveling. So whether it be car, train, plane, automobile, anything like that. So if you can get on with someone while traveling long distances, you're on to a winner. Like,
because the gig itself, you don't talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you don't,
exactly.
like, obviously in the green room, but like,
yeah.
if you're in the back of a room or whatever, you don't really do a lot of talking.
No.
I mean? It's like,
no, it's one of those things where if you can kind of get along in silence, then you're on to a winner.
Perfect. Like, yeah, I'm gonna layer some more of this on.
Sure. I have just shattered this.
That's all.
I don't know. I don't even know how I managed to do that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I love about cooking as well, man. Like, it's you do literally learn lessons along the way as you're doing it. Like, and like I was making some like Cajun chicken yesterday, or like Cajun chipotle chicken yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And then I made like a chipotle chicken gravy out of the drippings and all. And I was like, I can't just throw it all together, and it worked.
Yeah.
And it could very well have not worked. But what it is, it's very easy. It's very hard to fuck up a meal that bad that you can't eat it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even if like that béarnaise isn't as as texturally sound or structurally sound as you want it to be. Who gives a fuck? It's going to taste nice.
Exactly.
This is actually Marco Pierre White's recipe. It's a rendition of Marco Pierre White's. I added some aubergine in it, and then now I have I'm going to dub it Marco Pierre Shite. Because, everyone's sitting on that for a long time.
There we go.
But yeah, so what's it like, again, turn and stuff, like, because to me, you can fire
fire out.
To me, when I think about gigging, I think, I've done a few gigs in Derry with the boys. I've done, gigs in Port Rush and stuff, and the travel, as you said, is a lot of it.
Great crack.
And it's unbelievable. Like funny enough, Adam Byrne, Jack McGee done a Super Bowl gig there last week.
I heard about it. Yeah,
the Common Market.
Yeah.
Now the gig itself, like the actual stand-up comedy itself, wasn't like amazing, because people were there for the Super Bowl. That's fine, of course. You know what I mean? But the crack we were having during it,
powerful, like
amazing. Then we all done a wing challenge and stuff. And here,
I seen that. I don't think I could have done that one.
So, know what it was? I got absolutely peer pressured into it. I know what's mad, right? I got like juvenile peer pressure into it. They were like, "Do you want to do the wing challenge?" I was like, "No." They were like, "What are you, a pussy or something?" I was like, "No, I'm not. I'll do it then." So I got peer pressure into it. Now I got to round 4, which out of 5, and I mean.
Death.
I started eating the wings at round 4, and I was like, right, just concentrate on your breathing. And then I knew wings on 4 were going to be really bad because I couldn't taste anything. I could just feel. And I was like, this is bad. Because some of the hot sauces have a kind of citrusy, whatever.
Yeah, they have a little something to them.
Yeah. This it simply did not. And then I just went, it was mad. I just practiced free will. I was like, oh my God, hold on, this is a choice. I don't need to do this. I just stood up and just got the microphone and was like, folks, I'm away. I'm just like, why am I doing this to myself? And Adam and Jack, the pair lads, they were in the trenches. And there was a guy taking photos, and they were really, really bad. I wasn't too bad. I was obviously struggling. But there was a guy taking photos, and I was like, get a photo of us. And there's a photo of me, Adam and Jack is literally about to be sick. He's holding back the boat and all. Fucking amazing. But yeah, so that those are the gigs. And then you get a few quid for it or whatever. And we were driving back down the road, and we went, we got paid for gallivanting. We just went up, done fuck all, and just were like, here, do you want money for that? I'm like, yeah, of course.
Yeah, no, that'd be great.
You can pay for having a good time. It's the best job in the world. Well, it's not a job, but it's the best fucking thing in the world. It's fucking insane.
Layer up with another
lasagna sheet, and then we're maybe sort of as good as done, and then we'll cut and clean up here, and then we'll come back for a wee taste test whenever this is done. So you do a lot of gigs. Do you find when you're gigging, and you do a lot of gigs in Dublin, really a lot, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'm a big guy for a down south gig.
Yeah, and do you find, I know obviously I sort of touched on this a wee bit earlier with the whole, north-south divide type shit, not divide, but you know what I mean, whatever.
Yeah, the differences, yeah.
Well, the differences, that's humour differences as well.
Of course,
People have preconceptions of what northern people are and blah, 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 but I think what's great for you is you kind of get a bit of not a pass, but you know what I mean, because of that Canada aspect and the tiny wee fleck of an accent in there as well, you kind of get a wee bit
slightly different, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm different enough to stand out,
I guess. Be just another.
Yeah, just another Nordy.
I actually haven't gigged down south. Yeah, so where have you gigged in the world? That's what I meant to ask you earlier. What countries have you gigged in? So America,
England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland as a whole. I'm not separating the north and south.
Great
look at that. We're learning and we're healing. And I have also done gigs in Australia, and Germany will be the next one.
Class, man.
I don't think I've done any other place. No, that'll be about it.
Unbelievable. See, I went to Malta there last month or so, a few weeks ago. I just went on a wee holiday, and I was like, I'm gonna fucking do a gig here. So I just literally googled Malta comedy and messaged just messaged this page. This comedy club was on that night. It was a Saturday night, and I just was like, here, can I get 5 minutes, please? I'm visiting from fucking. I was gonna say visiting from Newry, which is true. You know what I mean? But yeah, and he was like, yeah, of course. And he kind of was like, how long are you doing it? I was like, I've been doing it there 2 years, blah blah blah. I've done, got a couple of stats, just to be like, I'm not just some random guy.
Some random guy, yeah.
And then, yeah, went and done it, and here, went great. But no one was interested. I obviously had to write a whole new 5 minutes because I was like, these people don't know what a chicken goujon is. So I was like, what about that boujum? What? Fucking the price of it, you know? And yeah, so I had to do a whole new 5 minutes, and it went really well. Now, there was probably a portion of it that was like, he's Irish and he's trying. Come on, you know? But Malta is an English-speaking country, like, so it was fine. But I found I had to change the way I was speaking because I had to be like, I'm here on vacation, all that shit, you know,
the cadence and stuff like that.
100%. But all the bits I wrote over there, and I've now actually like, you know, I'm starting to do them here now, and they're translating well. Yeah, you know, and obviously I've fucking burned them a wee bit, but great. Like, but it was weirdly nerve-wracking because I was like, oh, I'm gigging in a different country, and then I went, you know, kind of how you talk yourself down from a nervous gig. Yeah. Here you go, oh, fuck it, no one knows me, it's all right. Yeah, you know? It'll be grand. Literally nobody knew me, so I was like, I actually don't care if this goes good or bad. Like, obviously wanted to do well, but it was kind of like I had absolutely nothing to lose. Yeah, you know? You had no skin in the game. Literally no skin in the game. Here, this is looking well, by the way, man, isn't it? See if this was HE right now, A star. Yeah, 100%. And then that's the last layer. We'll do that and we'll leave that. Yeah, for fucking vibes. Sloppy Joes later on tonight. Oh yeah. We're gonna add a good bit of that in there. And then that. And then some more of the vegetarian cheese. And then we're gonna fry this in the oven, and then we're gonna add 2 shakes of a duck's arse. We're gonna, I just made that up by the way, but we're gonna, it sounded real though, didn't it? Yeah, no. I'm gonna use it from now on. Yeah, great. Funny enough, actually, me and Talal are doing these skits called Utter Scutter, right? And it's just, the whole thing is just two other ways talking shite in a bar. That's essentially what it is, you know? And that's basically the whole thing. And see all the phrases that I'm thinking of now that like are like in the past while, because we want to use all the old farmer phrases like, you know, fucking just the speak as they call it. Yeah. So we'll just message each other sometimes and be like, "Did you ever hear this one?" And it's just some absolute shite, you know. But my favourite one is, and it doesn't even make sense. Tell me if you've heard this, right? If I go to you, you know, you go to me, fuck, do you want to make a veggie lasagna? And I go, fuck, I haven't a veggie lasagna in long a many a day, right? What the fuck does that mean, bro? That's... I don't even think that's grammatically correct in any language. It doesn't exist, like, but it's so, there's a but I know what you're talking about too. It's long a many a day, unbelievable. But so I just love all those fucking phrases. But here, we're gonna fire this into the oven and then we're gonna get cleaned up, and I'll see you in a few minutes. Here we are, lasagna ready to go. Just about to take it out of the oven. You excited? I'm buzzing, man. Yeah. Buzzing. I had a wee peek there, a wee sneak peek. It looks unbelievable. So we'll take it out of the oven here and we'll get eating. Yeah, 100%. I very much hope that I don't drop this. That would be a disaster, wouldn't it? Could you imagine? Oh. Woo. Here. Oh, hot. Looks good. Do you want to do the honours? Portion out of each slice? It's like Thanksgiving all over again, huh? Do they do Thanksgiving in Canada? Yeah, they have a Canadian Thanksgiving. It's a different date from, don't ask me what date it is. Yeah. It's different from the American one. But same kind of thing. I'm sure there's a hockey game that's on that everybody watches and all that kind of stuff. Have you ever been to Thanksgiving or? Nope. No? Nope. I've been to a Friendsgiving once. Which is similar. It's pretty much the same thing. Yeah. You get loads of unhealthy food and it's great. Yeah, unbelievable. Right, let's see if I can do this. Moment of silence, please. You're right. Oh, we're looking good. Lads. And we had the pool there as well. Yeah, we did. Here. Some would say. Looks good. Pretty good. Looks good. Here, take that. I'll portion this up. I'll use a wee bit of salt. A wee bit of salt to finish and a wee bit of basil. And I ain't talking brush. Boom. Man. You're looking good. Hey, man. Tiny wee finish of salt. Would you like a wee pinch of salt in yours? I would, Yeah. Look at that. With Salt Bay action. And then We probably have to maybe rinse this under a bit of water, but fuck it. We'll find a nice wee pretty one, a wee double leaf one. Do you ever see the wee double leaf from top? Here, there's a wee treble.
Look at that. You're spoiling me.
Boom. Spoiled. Look, don't say I don't look after you, Jordan. Fuck's sake, I wouldn't have you talking about me. But, and then sure here, look. Do a wee single for myself. Boom. Oh, here. I'll finish a tiny crack of black pepper as well for the crack, just because I like doing things. And lastly, a bit more of this.
There we go.
There we have it. I'm here. I'm delighted with that so far. But presentation is one thing and taste is another.
Let's go. Let's find out.
Yeah, order up. Looking forward to it. It'll be hot too.
Yeah, I'm preparing my mouth mentally. Man, that's good gear.
Good?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Certified good gear.
Here, and like, thankfully, right, and this is genuine, right? Everything we've made so far in this has been good. There actually hasn't been a moment where we go, let's pretend it's good, it's not. Even though it's been a bit of haphazard, this is fucking good.
I can't talk now, I'm eating.
Yeah, yeah. Do your thing, bro. This is fucking good. I'm actually a bit speechless. That's unreal. And usually, you know, veggie lasagna, I'm a huge fan of beef lasagna. I eat a lot of meat. Like, yeah, I would easily make this again.
Even the lasagna seats are cooked to perfection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As a collaborative effort that I did very little in.
Oh, here.
I think we did great.
No, here, it's, you know what I mean, there's a sous chef involved, there's, you know what I mean, listen, it's all teamwork makes the dream work.
It's so good we can't even speak.
I know. I'm actually really delighted with that. We're going to wrap up here. Tell the people where they can find you, what you're doing, and, you know, how you feel.
You can find me in the kitchen trying to recreate this for the next couple of months.
Yeah.
I'm on Instagram at Jordan Robinson Comedy. I gig all over the place, so if you're in Dublin, come see me. If you're in Belfast, do the same. Thank you very much.
Yeah, amazing.
There we go.
Folks, yeah, we heard it here first. Fucking unbelievable. That was great. Jordan, thanks very much for coming on, man. I really, really appreciate it.
Not a bother. I'm bringing this home.
Yeah, 100%. Here, you can take a slice, back to Vicky if you want.
Nice.
Thank you very much for watching / listening. This is a really fun time. I really enjoyed that. If you have any recommendations for anything that you'd like me to cook in future, or any guests that you'd like to come on, please don't hesitate to give me a shout. If you have any comments about, you know, what you'd like to see in the episodes going forward, do you like the sort of cooking aspect of it? Do you like the, the conversational stuff? Let me know. We're all friends here. And until next time, yeah, order up, look after yourself, and enjoy. That's unreal. Here.
Done.